Hello and happy Monday.
Hello, ladies.
Hey, lady.
Mhm.
Oh, I took my wedding ring off somewhere. Huh. Wonder where it went. How is everyone doing?
Oh, so good.
Good,
Good,
good.
good. Good. Today is my first day that I have not taken a nap in 5 days, 6 days, which I hopefully means that I'm getting better, or I just decided that I don't have time to be sick anymore. So one or the other.
Is
Mm.
Shane still sick?
What's that?
Is Shane still sick?
No, he's fine.
Okay. He
I
just
call them
shared it.
power naps. I call them power naps because sometimes we just need them, right? Those
Oh, and
15, 20 minute. But I knew you
oh
were sick.
no.
Oh,
Yeah, no, I love a power nap. I am not apologetic about taking naps. I think naps are amazing. But this is like we actually walked to lunch yesterday. It was the first time I like showered and did my hair. And we walked to lunch, which was, I don't know, a quarter of a mile, not far at all. We had lunch. I came home and I crashed and took a 3 hour nap. I was like, oh my gosh. But yeah, the cool thing is, and I was talking to someone about this, is that going to all these events back to back really helped me understand like what I need to do in order to get my health where I want it to be so that I can go to these kind of events and not crash when I get home. Um, what'd you say, Caitlin? Oh, you're not a nap person? Oh, that makes me sad, lady.
I just feel
Uh,
terrible after I nap. So
you
I
do?
don't do it. I do. I feel terrible. So
I have to take short naps. If I go over 20 minutes, I feel
Yeah,
awful afterwards. I'm like done for the day. It's like I can't get myself back up. So
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
I've read all about that. Like, does your body go into REM sleep? All of those
Mhm.
things. But yeah. Okay, so I want to know on a scale of 1 to 10, what is the energy that you are bringing in today? One is not at all. Maybe it's just been not such a great day. Maybe you got some bad news. Maybe you're just not feeling it. And then 10 is, oh my gosh, I have the most energy. I'm just flying in here. I'm so excited. Maybe something great has happened. Tell me where you are. Cheryl, I love that you're at an 8 because I don't know how you are the busiest woman that I know. Okay, so we have some people in the 4.5 to 6 range, 7, 7.5. All right, everyone's kind of at a different level today, and that is totally okay. Catherine said a 9 this morning and a 6 tonight. Ha- does anyone else ever get like that? I totally do. And I don't know if any of you followed college football, but you probably heard of a guy named Deion Sanders. And one of the things that Deion Sanders talks about, he says, I even watched a video this weekend, that he does not have bad days. Like bad days do not exist in his life. And he has all these reasons, and you can Google it and find out. But one of the things he says is he breaks his day up into quarters. So maybe the morning is ruined, but his mid morning, he like looks at it as another quarter. So he's on to the next, like, how do I make the next 3 or 4 hours great? And then, if that doesn't happen, so that's an interesting way to look at your day. I know that I used to be the type that if something bad happened in the morning, I just let it go my whole day. And I'm starting to say, okay, just because it was a bad morning doesn't mean it can be a bad afternoon, etc. Although, Catherine, if you started with a great morning and then it got bad, then I don't know.
That's
yeah.
when you take
Uh,
a power nap to separate your morning from your afternoon. Your morning can be bad. You take a power nap.
there you go.
Yeah, I can't
Sade,
remember who said it. It was one of I think the RPMs, how, she sends out the Monday motivation emails or
Yeah,
whatever.
Amy,
I
yeah.
think it was one of those videos and he said, to rest, he said, if you rest and you are more productive after you rest, then that rest is productive. And so that's what I have to remind myself is because, I am very busy and my wheels are always spinning but sometimes, I got to say it's okay to stop and rest for a bit. So, yeah.
Yeah, we could have a whole topic on that, on like
Yes.
how
and
do you
sleep.
how do you give yourself grace? How do you I
Yeah.
know people now that are hiring sleep coaches because sleep is so important. And I know everyone in this group is different ages, but I will tell you, like I could get no sleep in my 30s, but when I hit the 40s, it's a must. I cannot not have sleep. Crystal and Sade, I'm so sad to hear that y'all are not feeling well. So hopefully we can brighten your day a little bit. So what I'd like to do today is I'm actually going to share my screen with you in just a second. One of the things that has been really exciting to me over the last really couple of months, but no doubt the last couple of weeks, is being able to connect with so many of you in person, being able to actually like share a conversation, share a meal or a cup of tea or a cup of coffee with each other. And what I have been so excited about is that everyone has asked me, like, where are we going when it comes to Trailblazers? What does this really look like? And for those of you who don't know, I'm gonna share a little bit of information about who I am in case you don't know me. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about where we've been and where I think that we're going. And then I want to open it up for discussion. So for those of you who are in your car, you might have a little bit of a challenge seeing this. I'll send this out afterwards. But this conversation, and here's the thing, as always, this is a conversation. I went to an all-girls school in high school. I didn't learn how to raise my hand and wait to be called on. I just ask a question. So if you have a question or if you have a thought, feel free to just jump in. Or of course, you can put it in the chat. But let me tell you first just a little bit about me in case you don't know about me, because I know I haven't been able to connect with everyone. But I am an investor, a podcast host, and a lot of what I do is around motivational speaking. That was actually what I was doing moving into full time before I started in real estate investing full time. So when I started inside Pace Morby's sub 2 group, I wanted to hang out with other women. I come from a very strong women background. I've been in the personal and professional development space for the last almost decade. And prior to that, I was in the nonprofit space, specifically working for women and girl organizations. So I kept thinking, where the hell are all the women and why are we not hanging out together? I've actually been a real estate investor since 2010, totally by accident. It was not anything I planned. It was something that Shane Langford wanted. At the time, I was still a nonprofit executive. I led fundraising teams. I've raised over $35 million and helped coach a lot of up and coming fundraisers. After that, in 2015, I walked away from my first career. I actually walked away with no plan, with no idea what I was going to do. And I became an executive coach. And I focused primarily on helping women in their corporate careers. So I help them in their career pivots, either leaving the company and going to a new company, potentially getting out of that industry. And then I helped a lot of women get promoted, specifically from the director level to the VP level, from the VP level to the C-suite level. Most of what I have been teaching and talking about has been in the area of confidence. And in fact, I even gave a TEDx talk about confidence because one of the things that I learned while I was coaching women is that I would ask them what it is that was holding them back. And through my own original research, 96% of women said they had some lack of confidence that was holding them back. What I think is fascinating about real estate investing is you're building your own business. So I started thinking, oh my goodness, is this happening inside of real estate investing? Are we holding ourselves back? And so, listen, I'm never going to be the real estate expert that you come to. There might be women inside Trailblazers who become real estate experts, who already are real estate experts, who are going to teach and educate you and bring knowledge and information to you specifically in this area. But that's never going to be who I am. However, with that said, my life mission, my life's work is around inspiring, motivating, and impacting the lives of women. And so if there's anything that I can do to help you get there, that is what I want to do. And if everyone could mute themselves, somebody has something going on in the background. Thank you. Okay. I'm also obsessed with sushi and Tex-Mex. There's just a little bit of information about me. You might be like, who's this chick? So let's talk a little bit about the mission of Trailblazers. Not super long, so maybe somebody will help us dial this back. I worked for several hours on this. Maybe today wordsmithing was not my thing. I'll blame it on all the sinus medicine that I've been on. But basically what we want to do is empower women in real estate investing. The truth is that it totally pisses me off that only 31.6% of real estate investors are women. That is not okay with me. We make 80% of the buying decisions for our household, including almost all of the day-to-day decisions. So my thought process is, why are we not investing in real estate more? Additionally, the data tells us that we outlive men by an average of 7 years. You can do the math if you are in a marriage or a partnership with a man. And really what I want to see is that we as women come together, and that over the next 11, 12 years, by 2035, that we would comprise at least 50% of real estate investors in the United States. Now, these are big, lofty goals. This is a big vision. And one of the things that I know is that I cannot do any of this by myself. Again, I never wanted to. I wanted to hang out with cool women just like you. So let me tell you a little bit about the history of Trailblazers. Again, I said we started inside Sub 2 in Gator. This specifically was a call. It was a Monday night call. How can we get together? So we had 14 women on that very first call. We launched our Facebook group because people said, hey, I want to know, I want to have another space. So we launched a Facebook group and a Facebook community. We had our first in-person event right after Squad Up in Orlando. This is a picture. I think a couple of women had left, but we had 23 women that were there, which we were the day after, and people had already flown home. So we were super excited. And I will say that we started at 10, and most of this group did not leave until 12:30. We had some really great, rich conversation. Our Facebook group as of today is up to 643 women. And so far, outside of this one in-person networking, we've had 37 calls. So we've only taken Christmas, New Year's Eve, a couple of other holidays off. These are some past speakers and topics that we've had. They've been amazing women talking and teaching us about what it is that they do in real estate investing. Irene even talked about business buying and business investing. I loved when Sandra really shared with us, how to stay on track with your investment plan. And of course, when Christy, Jill, and Faye spoke, these have been some of our top 3 most rewatched on our YouTube. So wanted to let you know about that. And I was super excited. I got to meet Faye. Oh, I'm actually in the same sweater. I got to meet her a couple weeks ago here in Austin when she came to Raising Private Money. Okay, so when I talked to many of you, you all said, what's next? Like, where are we going? What does that look like? And you gave me a lot of thoughts and a lot of feedback. And I started thinking, well, what is it that we can do? Now, one thing I want to remind everyone of is that even though we started in Pace's group, and many of us come from Pace's group, we have actually grown outside of that. We have women who are in other mentorships, other mastermind groups, they go to other conferences. We have some women who are not in any kind of paid real estate mentorship. So again, I don't think that we're ever going to be the place you come to be the expert real estate investor, because there's so many other people that are doing it. But I do think that we can be the place where you meet other women, where you bring in other women. And between our events, our education, and then capital, we think that we can help you get where you want to go. And that's really all the Trailblazers it's about. It is about us having the power of collective group, of having the power of amazing women who come from different backgrounds and saying, what is it that you can't get somewhere else? And how can we give it to you here? So I'm just going to quickly go through what we think these 3 areas look like and what we're planning to do in Trailblazers. So number 1 is events. So up until this point, we have just had this weekly call, and then we had that one live event. After talking to you all, you're like, yeah, can we do more? Can we do different things? I had someone ask me at Squad Up, Caytie, are we going to start chapters in every market? And if so, I want to be the chapter leader for my market. I was blown away. That was not even a thought that had crossed my mind. So I started thinking and talking to many of you and said, what is it that we actually could do? So we're going to continue to have our calls. Again, this Monday night call happens every single Monday, 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 o'clock Pacific. Even when the times change, it's 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 o'clock Pacific. We're going to continue to have those. Those calls, what we are thinking about right now and what we want to let you in on and ask for your feedback is that right now, if we have 4 calls a month, we see 2 of those having a speaker that is real estate focused, right? Like Christy Leach, who came in and talked about owning a boutique hotel in Tulum. One of those would be around mindset, confidence. So I would teach some of those, and then we would get some other mindset experts in. And then one would be purely networking. And it's really helping you think through who can help you, not how can you do it. So that's kind of what those 4 look like. Again, after this is over, we're going to do a survey and ask, does that even make sense? Or are you like, no, I want to have 3 networking and only 1 real estate? Like, let's figure that out. The second kind of event that we want to introduce you to is what we are calling the Ambitious Women Dinner Series. This is going to be one of those events that you could fly in the morning from wherever you are. The afternoon will be a mastermind plus networking, but mostly mastermind. There will be something that we work on around your business. And then that evening, we will have a dinner. It'll be nice. It'll be beautiful. It'll be highly curated. And how we sit you will also be highly curated. This is the dinner where you come and you're not the weirdo, right? I don't know about you all, but when I go to dinner with my girlfriends sometimes, they don't want to talk about my real estate investment business. They don't want to talk about Trailblazers. They don't want to talk about how I'm trying to raise capital. They want to talk about their kids, and they want to talk about what's happening with school, and they want to talk about, their careers, and they want to talk about all the other things. So what we want to give you is an opportunity to say, yeah, I want to talk to other ambitious women in real estate and specifically talk about real estate. Now, it doesn't mean that we won't have maybe a mom's table. Maybe if there's 5 or 6 moms that are like, listen, yes, I want to talk about real estate, but I really need to talk about how the heck do I balance real estate investing and my business with having my kids. So anyways, again, very highly curated, not just a conversation where you come and shoot the breeze, but a true conversation that's going to move you from where you are to where you want to go. We are thinking that we're going to have 4 of those per year. And right now we are looking at having one of those either here in Austin where I am or in Phoenix, where Avita is. So more information about that to come. We also have heard that people are like, I want to retreat. I want to be around other women who are investing in real estate. I want to be in a beautiful location. I want to have more than just, a dinner, more than just going from, conference to conference. I want it to be something that's fun and relaxing, yet it has to be informative and intimate. And here's what I understand from you all. There has to be a really, 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 really good reason why you would leave your families behind. I'm not a mom. That's not something that I experience, but it is something that I'm coming to very much understand from you all who are moms. I heard what it was like when you were at Squad Up. I heard what it was like when you were at Fund Launch or at Raising Private Money. There has to be a good reason for that. And so we are really thinking through this retreat. There are a couple of locations that we are talking about. One is at our friend Catherine's boutique hotel in Puerto Rico. In case you haven't seen it, it's pink. I don't know, that's kind of exciting to me. Some of y'all might be like, Caytie, I hate pink. But more to come on that. And again, we're going to want some information from you as we build these things out. Of course, we want to do in-person meetups. You're already meeting people, right? Like when Squad Up happened and so many of us were there, we're like, cool, we'll get together. We want to continue to do that kind of thing. So even thinking about, right, Investor is coming up here in Austin. Should we do something then? There's lots of opportunities for in-person meetups, and it doesn't necessarily mean that I have to be there, or, you guys can get together on your own, right? Like there's a lot of things that we can do around this. And then eventually I've talked to several of you about having a full-blown conference or summit. And again, having content that is not necessarily something that you can get somewhere else. We're not trying to compete with all the other real estate education that you can get. We know there are experts in other places, but we know that we can meet you and be the expert for what is it like to be a woman who's also a real estate investor. So we might have somebody come in and talk specifically about, I don't know, like the sleep coach thing, right? Like how do you run a 7-8-figure business and make sure that you're taking care of your health? Like there's all kinds of ways, and I don't have all the answers. The answers are going to come from all of you. Okay. Yeah, Rocio said no competing here, collaboration. Absolutely. Okay, so let's talk about education. Education is still going to happen in real estate, but again, this is really more for our weekly calls, right? There are going to be things that we can talk about that you're not getting elsewhere. And we really want to understand, what are you not getting somewhere else so we can fill in those gaps? We think that some of you are doing really cool stuff that y'all need to be talking to us. You need to be sharing what's happening. We think that we can do education around mindset and clarity and confidence. The truth is, I have coached hundreds of women. And without having the right mindset, without being really clear on where you want to go, and without having the belief and confidence that you can actually make it happen, oftentimes people don't move out of neutral. And as I've told you all before, you have big, bold things to do in this life. And for many of you, real estate is just your vehicle to get the means to do that. So you cannot hold yourself back. These are topics I'm super passionate about and I want to continue to talk about, but then we also want to bring in other experts. I've shared with you all about public speaking. This is the kind of topic that we want to address that we're not seeing addressed in other real estate groups. We are going to be rolling out public speaking training. We are, right now, I'm in the middle of creating all of that content based on, personally, I've invested over $25,000 into speaking coaches. I know a lot of great speaking coaches. I know a lot of great people in the speaking industry. And there's some tips and tools and secrets that you just don't know about. But the truth is, at every single one of these events, a woman like you should be speaking. You should be speaking virtually. You should be speaking at your local meetup. You should be speaking at these conferences, right? Perhaps you're raising capital like me. I speak to groups of executive women. Why? Because they have capital. They might have money in their 401k. They might have money from a bonus, etc. So I want to raise money for them. I go into companies and speak to them. You might have some other niche depending on what it is that you're doing in real estate. And we need to get you in front of people. As my friend Sean McNicholas, who is Amy Majuri's husband, says, a closed mouth doesn't get fed. You know, if you are in one of Pace's group, Pace always says, you know, don't go out and have the best burger company and then not tell anyone about it. The truth is, the power of public speaking is incredible. My entire coaching business happened because of speaking. I would go speak for free. I would get leads. I would do complimentary coaching sessions. Those complimentary coaching sessions would turn into people that would become my clients. One session that I did, one 45-minute speech that I gave, yielded $18,000 in clients, right? So what could that look like for you in your real estate business? And then again, other topics that you're not finding in real estate. I'm not reading any of these chats, so just let me know if you have anything. Okay, now I want to talk about capital. I have shared with you all this, that we are creating Trailblazers Capital Fund. We're going to do one fund, the first fund. We are going to raise money from women and allies for women-owned and women-led real estate projects. Here's what's cool if you're in Trailblazers. We're going to let you give us feedback as we create our investment thesis. That is what we are working on right now, is our investment thesis. And we need to know, what do you know? Right? You might have seen inside Facebook today, I said, if you need capital right now, what would you be using it for? We may not replace all of your other capital and lenders, but we don't want you to have to walk away from a deal because you can't get capital, right? We also are going to grant everyone inside Trailblazers the opportunity to apply for that funding. This isn't just, hey, you have one project and you need funding. We want to help you and your business grow. We want to help you go from one project a year to 10 projects a year. We want you to go from doing single family flips to multifamily flips, right? Like, this is about helping you get your business where you need to go. This is about helping you become the businesswoman that you're supposed to become. This is about surrounding you with other women who can help you get there. And for you to be able to do these projects. again, if we're going to move past 31.6%, we're going to have to start doing more stuff. We're going to need to bring in more women. You're going to need to hire cool, badass people for your team. And my goal and my hope is that some of those people would be women. And then some of you, based on your own accredited investor level, are going to be able to invest in the fund. And so this is something that we are super excited about. I'm not going to lie to you. This is the thing that I've had many conversations with myself saying, who the hell am I to think I can do this? Why do I think I can do this? I don't have an MBA. I don't have a finance degree, but I also have conversations with you. And I think, if not me, then who's going to do this? And so, again, I'm going to be transparent with you. I always tell you when I'm scared, when I'm nervous, but that doesn't mean it's going to stop me. And it doesn't mean it's going to stop you. So, couple of quick things. All of these things we want to provide for you. All of these things we want to give you these opportunities. I will tell you, as I'm growing my own business, there's a lot of stuff that's slipping through the cracks because I just can't do it all. So this is the time where I want to invite you that if you want to get more involved, if you want to have a leadership role, if you want to, be able to say, hey, I'm at the ground floor of launching this really cool big thing, then these are the things that I am looking for, and that we are going to be putting together for kind of like a leadership team. And as we grow, then we'll add more as we need. We need a couple of people who will be our welcome and new member. One of the things that happens is people sign up on Facebook, they get into our CRM system, we send them an email. I need help doing that. Those kind of are kind of falling through the cracks, if you will, right now. And then also, as we get new members, can you follow someone for a few weeks? Make sure they have the Zoom link, make sure they know the calls at 7 p.m. Eastern, and then even facilitate introductions. So this is great for the person who is a natural connector and kind of likes to inspire people to get things going. The next role that we have, and this will probably be 2 to 3 people, is education. So we need folks to help us identify speakers. And Irene had taken all of that on her own, but as we grow, we need more than one person. Again, the thought is if we can spread some things out, then we can actually accomplish more. A rising tide lifts all ships. So it would be identifying, recruiting those speakers, following up with them, getting their headshot, their bio, etc. Just making sure that they're in place, that they have gotten, hey, here's how we would like you to present to our group, etc. And we need someone really thinking about this, having a strategy for us. Okay, events is the next thing. As I said, we're going to continue with our virtual events, but we're also going to do live events. And so Avita has raised her hand and said, yes, I want to do this, but she's going to need help because, she's also running a business. So if you really like events, this is your opportunity. I will tell you this. I do not like events. I did it for my very first career. I quickly learned I am not great at events. It is so detail oriented. I don't care what the step and repeat looks like. I am not worried about the invitation, etc. So I think Avita would even tell you that for me, I'm very hands off. I'm like, here's the vision of what I'd like to see. Go forth and conquer. So if that's something that excites you, I would love to talk to you about that. Operation. Okay. Again, I'm not a linear thinker. I'm very big picture. I can come up with ideas. I can get a group of people together and I can say, this is where we're going to go. But I need someone who's like watching the train and make sure we're not going off the track. That's watching and saying, hey, Caytie, we don't have a process for this. So let's build one. if that's you and you really get jazzed about process and all the things, let me know. And Caitlin, I'm very excited that you said that. Yes, I love that you're all about operations. Two more things. One is social media. I have tons of ideas, but I do not have a plan. I do not have a strategy. I literally, if I'm posting inside the Facebook group, I probably made that up yesterday or today, right? I'm doing it on the fly. So if somebody's like, I really have love to have a strategy and I love to understand that. One of the areas that I think that we can grow is on LinkedIn, right? If you're doing real estate investing, you cannot do it by yourself. I don't think that enough of us are utilizing our networks on social media. If you're not familiar, there is an organization called Chief. It's a fairly new organization, like 5 or 6 years old, maybe a little older than that. But it is a female executive place to go and be. And actually, one of my high school classmates is their chief revenue officer. But what's cool about it is all these women join Chief, and it's a big deal on their LinkedIn. It's a way of saying, like, I am in this and I'm doing this thing. What I see for Trailblazers is it's a way for you to say, I'm in real estate investing as a woman. I'm looking to get other women involved. And so if you utilize that, I had 4 people reach out to me last week alone when I posted some stuff about real estate. One is a potential lender, and one is a broker in commercial real estate. And she might be able to help me with another fund that I'm working on. So again, social media, and then technology. I'm not technology savvy. I would like to create a website. We need help with that. We don't have a very big budget for Trailblazers. So if that is your jam and you're like, yeah, that sounds amazing, cool. I would love to talk to you. So here's what I did. I just put together a Google form. If you're interested in any of those roles, you just scan this QR code and complete the form. It's literally like my name, my email, my phone number. Check which ones you want. Tell me why. Tell me anything else. And then I want to just set up a call with you and just talk like details. Hey, do you have 15 minutes a week? Do you have an hour a week? Like, how many other people do we need to help you, etc., etc. So that is a lot that I just threw out. I'm going to leave this up in case anyone needs the QR code. But I would love to open it up for feedback. One, what do you love? What do you hate? What works? What doesn't work? What do you want to be involved in? What else should we be thinking about? Just any and all feedback that you have. And I can't really see anybody, so feel free to raise your hand. Sorry, now we're going to do the digital raise. I know, after I said we're not. Yes, Cassandra, let me give you that link. Catherine, go for it. I'll actually drop the link. Catherine, tell us what's happening, lady.
Well, thank you. You know, I always have a big mouth and want to talk and chime in. So one of the things I connected with you about that really hit a nerve with me was when you talked about, you know, Caytie, Sanchez, and Bina being the only speakers and that we need more women on stage. And I have no problem being on stage. I do public speaking for, you know, my own real estate group here in Puerto Rico. But I think public speaking and more like media public speaking, like how do you talk to the press and like even a higher level public speaking at some point, but reputation building, branding, social media, online presence, all those things that build our fame, you know, that help to give us credibility. I think that's something that I don't think anyone else is doing that. I mean, lots of people are talking about, you know, investing in multifamily and this is how you get started in real estate and, you know, some mindset stuff and finance stuff, but that sort of thing, I never see anyone else talk about that. And
Yeah.
women, I've never heard anyone with the passion that you have for that. And that spoke to me as something like, here's something with women that hasn't been, I see as being like this vacuum. I could be wrong. It could be out there and I just wasn't looking for it until I found you. And then I was like, oh, yeah.
I love that idea, Catherine. And I had really only thought about how do we get on stages, virtual or in person. I had not thought about how do you get on the news? How do you become the go-to for like, there are people in every market who like they have a list. Hey, if the real estate crashes, they call so and so, they call so and so, right? Like,
Yeah.
how do you become those people, those experts? So we could absolutely find those people to help us with that content. I love that idea. Oh,
Thank you.
yeah, thank you. Maria, hey lady, tell us what's going on.
Hey, well, I'm so excited to be on here. I'm not part of Pace's group.
That's okay. We still like
So
you.
I know Pace, and I've gone to a lot, virtually his things. Um, I love that you're doing this because it is so true. Women are so underrepresented in the real estate space, period. They really are. And I would love to, what I think is needed, we all get in these real estate groups, okay? And I feel like everyone eh, in these real estate groups is looking for capital. I feel like we need to learn how to go outside of these real estate groups. Like, okay, I'll give you an example. I was a pharmaceutical sales rep for, I mean, I'm much older than you guys. Probably I have 4 grown sons and I'm 59. And so, went to an all women's college, so I really resonated with you, Caytie, as far as the women's high, cuz it really makes you an independent woman. But I feel like, just if I could go back to when I was selling pharmaceuticals in these teaching hospitals to, residents and anesthesiologists and all these doctors I was calling on, many years ago for 15 years. It was a wealth of capital.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I feel like we need to reach outside of our real estate groups and learn to do that. And I'm not sure how to go because I'm not
Yeah.
in it right now, you know?
Yeah.
So how
So a
to
couple of things. Yeah.
do that.
So absolutely. And Maria, it's very interesting that you say this because people ask me all the time, why do you not want to raise money from other real estate investors? And I have exactly the reasons. Part of it is I coached corporate American women for so long. I know how much they make. I coached so many women and helped them get promoted from, director to VP and VP to C suite. I'm like, lady, I helped you negotiate your compensation and I know you got money to give me. So I actually don't raise a lot of money from other real estate investors simply because I think that there's so much more opportunity out there. And again, a lot of people are already swimming in that pond. It's not a blue ocean strategy. Um, so one of the things that we are going to be doing, my mentor, who I know is many other ladies' mentors as well in here, Amy Majuri, who has Raising Private Money, her program, her systems, all of those things are so phenomenal. She knows how to take it and break it down, and she does not teach you how to raise money from other real estate investors. She teaches you how to raise money from anyone. So I have talked to Amy and we have invited her inside Trailblazers. So stay tuned because we are going to have her as a guest. And I'm hoping that maybe we could do something to partner in some way with her. with Trailblazers, because so many of you inside this group are, you know, y'all would be great in her community. So yes, I agree, and stay tuned. Part of it has been, I've been really working to build my relationship with Amy. I didn't want to like ask for a favor before I had done enough things for her. But I've been making deposits. So she knows that I want her to come in and do some stuff with us. So yes, agreed. Marcy, tell us what's up, lady. And I just have to say before this, I have to give a huge shout out to Marcy. For those of you who don't know, Marcy has a W-2. She is a director at Hyundai, and she got me a speaking engagement inside Hyundai to come and talk to them. We just had our call the other day. I'm going to speak to the graduates and alums of their Women in Leadership, their high performer group, and I am just so grateful. And I will tell you this, Marcy didn't like say, hey, would you be interested in it? She's like, hey, Caytie, you're gonna come talk, and let me give me your dates. When can you do this? Like, it just happened. She never let me say no, and I am so grateful to you, Marcy. I've been working on what we're gonna do in a couple of weeks, and so I just wanted to publicly say thank you for helping me get that amazing opportunity.
I'm telling you, you know, there's some things that I'm telling you, Caytie, you just have, like, you have this aura about you. And it's almost like magnetic. And I am sure other women in this community feel the same way. And I just can't talk enough about you. So just high level story. And first and foremost, I'm just excited to be here because my husband and I, every Monday night, January to May, every year, the last 4 years, we coach mental health coaching for marriages. So that's why I can't be on the horn every Monday, but I have been soaking up everyone's comments and notes and stuff like that in the Trailblazer chat. So thank you everybody for the commentaries on the meetings, because I absolutely love it. And I feel like I've gotten to know you guys along the way. But with that, I'm in PACE, I'm in sub 2. Even before that, though, I was in Kingdom 320, which is a Christian-based real estate investment thing. So I've been inviting folks from over on that end over here. I don't know if any of them are online tonight, but that's a great group as well. And my kind of goal per se this year is I want to get to 3 to 5 pad splits. I just love the idea about it. I've been communicating with my church, and I can't remember who it was that said about the nonprofit, but there are close to 7,500 foster care children here in the Dallas Metroplex that they like age out, right? They have nowhere to go. And many times they have like remedial jobs so they can make the payments on a pad split. So that's just my heart. So I'm trying to like see, okay, if I get one pad split for me, and then one pad split works for a nonprofit, and like how that works. So yeah. I'm working on that with my husband and a few other things. And I've been connecting with folks in this community, and I just can't say enough, but I won't take
I love it.
Call.
No, I love that, Marcy. And typically, I mean, this call is totally out of our like norm. We normally are talking about what are you doing? What kind of deals? Who do you need to know? Yeah. And I would love to talk offline about this because I know a lot of people in that space in Dallas. So I think there's some cool stuff that we can do.
We're partnering with, I want to say it's Jose. Is it Maka? I can't remember his last name. I'm sure there's several others, but there's just so many incredible people in that space. And so I just can't imagine that there wouldn't be an opportunity for it. And I love the idea only because we have 4 grown children and they're all adulting in their own space. And only one of the 4 has a home.
Yeah.
They all want to just have a pad split. So I'm like, hey, if I can plant them in a pad split, then at least we'll have some type of property.
And see, this is the thing, ladies. Again, for anyone that's like sitting on the sidelines, who's like, I'm not sure, I don't know how to do this. Like, you maybe don't think about pad split in the same way that Marcy does. Maybe your passion and who you want to help is not kids aging out of the foster care, right? But the reality is you have something that you are supposed to do. And so when I realized that real estate, y'all, I could give 2 shits about remodeling a house and picking out cabinets. And some of you are phenomenal at design. I am not. I'm like, I don't want to pick out paint color. I'm going to stress out about that. It'll make me sick to my stomach, right? But when I figured out that real estate could be a means to the end of what I'm trying to accomplish in this world, and I think that that is one of the number one reasons why we have to get other women involved, because everyone has some kind of impact that they want to make. And anyways, this is my soapbox. I could go on for hours and hours, but this is the reason why we cannot stop ourselves. This is the reason why, even when we're nervous, even when we're anxious, even when we're scared, we have got to move forward and make these things happen. So, Marcy, thank you. And I'm so excited that you're here.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Luce, tell me what's up, lady.
How are you?
So good. Sorry that I did not get to all those messages last
No,
week.
no, no
I was
worries.
so
No
sick,
worries.
but I'm here now and I'm digging out.
Yeah, I can see
Tell us
that.
what's
Thank you.
happening.
Well, so far today I have learned a ton. I have to step away at 7:59 because I have my next meeting, which I lead, is for all the Latinos that are not in sub 2. So I
Okay.
created this new community since August. So that's their time every 2 weeks, 8 p.m. Eastern time. So that's one of the things I wanted
love
to
it.
let you do.
I
No.
love it.
So another thing is that I have a lot of things on the plate. I really want to help, but I don't know how.
That's okay.
I have the Zoom para Latinos, which is for the sub-2 community. Everything is in Spanish. It's for the Latinos community.
Amazing.
And everyone who wants to jump in and practice their Spanish, they're welcome. I have created the Latin Dial, which is on Tuesdays. This meeting that is for the non-sub-2 students. I'm going to start with the local meetups for Latinos. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna take all the main cities in the United States. And I have other, because every time people ask me why you didn't do this, why you're not doing this, I'm like, that's a great idea. So I'm
Yeah.
trying to put everything together. Just let me know what I can do. For now, I can tell, is Marcia, the last girl who talked?
Marcy?
Marcy. I can put her in, I have a lot of connections, so I can put her in contact with one of our leaders, because I have to organize leaders in my group, so I can do some other things, which is what you're doing. They are very good with Split. I have experience in Split as well. I'm a fix and flipper, so I have a lot of experience in Split, so we can talk. Those little things I can help with.
Yeah.
Because
Listen,
in the
lady.
Latino community, we are bilingual, so I know them because of they are part of the groups. But I don't know. You tell me if that's enough.
Lady, you are doing a lot. And here's the thing. No one has to no one should feel like, oh my gosh, I have to do this. Some of you might just say, I have a little extra time and I'd like to do this. And I wanted to give you an opportunity. But lady, like, just keep showing up, keep telling people, keep giving us your ideas. I mean, if y'all don't know this, I thought about this speaker training and I was like, yeah, I'm going to do it. Luce texts me, emails me, messages me. Hey, when is that starting? When are we doing this? Like, she is the reason, she is the fire under me that's like, oh, I'm getting this done. Right. So keep being that light for me. Like, you're good.
Thank you. As a matter of fact, I just came from a nap. I really, really, really needed it.
There you go.
Before starting this conversation. So I appreciate everything you're doing.
Thank you.
Keep following everything you said.
Thank you.
And now my Zoom is gonna kick me out of this one so I can jump into the other one.
No worries.
It's not because I just wanted to leave, it's because I have that compromise already.
Yeah, you're totally fine.
Thank you, Marcia. Contact me and I'll put you in contact with people that I know.
Perfect. We will
I'm
do
really
that. And I
easy
know
to
you're
find. I
helping.
am Luz M. Velasquez. That's my Instagram. That's it. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
lady. Here's the other thing. I greatly appreciate all the things that you all have poured into me. I really, really do. I also want to elevate leaders in this group. This does not need to be the Caytie show. The goals that we have are way bigger than me, and we have to have other women. And so I know that there are some of you who are sitting on this call and you're like, I want to be the leader. I want to lead that call. I know that because I've been that in other people's communities. And so I want to help you become that as well. Carolyn, tell us what's up, lady.
Caytie, thank you so much for doing this group.
Yeah.
Me, I feel out of place in a lot of places. Like you're talking about, you won't be that weirdo, and I'm like, I think I'm still gonna be the weirdo, even at the real estate group, right? But I want so much to like just have more opportunities to meet people that I could have as friends, people that I,
Yeah.
call them when it's like, oh man, the person called me back about the deal, and like just somebody on speed dial, somebody I can connect with, somebody I can socialize with, someone who, where I have more things in common than just real estate or just one thing
Yeah.
or this thing. I find I have friends sort of from my old life who maybe they were kind of a lower vibration, and I can easily go to that because I know that language and I know how to, and I like certain things about that. I like reflective listening, and I like being heard, and I like being listened to. And then I come into a real estate space, and it's like, I don't have kids, I'm not a mom, I'm not, I don't tick a lot of boxes, and I'm not married, or like there's just so many things. I don't know, I just feel so out of place, and I wish I could. Yeah, I did MLM years and years ago, and I got put
Yeah.
under somebody's like, you should be under this person, and we became best friends, like
Yeah.
have something like that where some, I'm like, not like the equivalent of dating, but that kind of idea of like, you're going to get along with this person, so we're going to put you at the
Yeah.
or you're going to get along with this person. I want you to meet this person because I think you'll, I mean, like I want so much to have friends and I'm in Canada, so I can't come down to Austin for stuff, or, I wasn't at Squad Up and stuff like that. So it is hard having that distance barrier too. But
Yeah.
I actually, one of my closest friends is in Dallas and we've never met in person.
Yeah.
So
No, and I will say, first of all, thank you for sharing that. I don't think that you are alone. I think that there are many of us that feel that way. I think we have to figure out how to be creative to introduce you to people where you don't have to go. Because I will say this, for those of you who don't know Carrie Ann on this call, we shared an Airbnb a couple weeks ago at Squad Up, and it was crazy because before then we had a conversation and we got along great on a Zoom, and we were like, yeah, we need to continue this conversation. And then things got busy, but then we were in an Airbnb together, and like she's become such a close friend in such a short period of time and a confidant. And then she was in Austin a couple of weeks, the next week, to go to RPM, and like I got her from the airport and took her to the airport, and like we hung out, and she got to meet my husband. And like sometimes that face to face, like you need that, right? But also I think one of the things that you just pointed out is that you have challenged us to say, how can we also facilitate relationships if somebody can't meet in person? And there are ways to do that. And so if somebody else is like, yeah, I want to work on that, like I would love to know that, so that we can figure out that puzzle piece. And I think the other thing is, this might just be my weirdo-ness, which is totally fine. I embrace my weirdo-ness now. The higher up that you go in this real estate world, like the more success, right? I find that my old friends, this is just me, like as we add more properties, as we, as I try and do bigger stuff, right? Like my friends from my life get less and less. We become less because they don't get it. They're like, what the hell are you doing? What are you talking about? So I don't know if other people are experiencing that, but I have a feeling that this isn't going to end. That as you progress up in mindset and leadership and whatever up is for you, because I'm not necessarily just talking about your bank account. For some of you, that might be true. But as you level up, less people from your past are going to fit the future you. And so
You have to find new people that fill those spaces, right? Like
yeah.
I'm still in an in-between where it's like I've shed a lot of past people, but I still need community, I still need connection, I still need support, right? And so for me it's like finding people that I resonate with now, and it is just really tough being so far away. So
yeah. Well, let's figure that out.
Can I just share something really quick, Caytie, that just speaks to me, just and Carolyn share?
Sure.
Only because I've been trying to be so much more intentional. So Carolyn, I am feeling that 411 there, because I've been doing coffee dates with women, whether they've been in Trailblazers or whether they've been in other communities, because I have felt the same way. And so as I've leveled up and come to the knowledge that I've gotten to, I'm still working on my first deal over here. And I am super excited because I have come so far in the knowledge that I've learned to be able to talk to it even, right? And have the confidence level to talk about it. So for myself, that's a win. But as well as the friends that you develop and stuff like that, I think it totally changes, right? Because your friends look at you differently, and they're like, what are you doing? What are you talking about? Real estate? You're going to retire and you're going to work? What are you talking about? Like, I have no intent. I just enjoy talking to people. And this direction allows me to do that. So, anytime, Carolyn, you need to talk to somebody, I'm a talker.
All right.
I love that. Okay.
Friends, so I can put you on my interview friend list.
Yeah, there you go.
Awesome. Maybe we made a love connection. Okay, is it Kirsten or Kirsten?
You got it. It's Kirsten, like ear.
Kirsten, Kier like. So one of my girlfriends says Kier like beer.
Oh yeah, that's good too.
You said ear.
I say it's Swedish for wealth. So I'm pretty sure that's what I remember my Nana telling me.
Get it, lady? All right, Kirsten. Tell us what's up, lady.
So I love the nonprofit stuff, and we've kind of been talking about that in the pad split stuff, but I have a question with regard to the fund. And I know that you are going to be taking kind of people's input and writing, the objective, it sounds like, but what is your thought on the objective of the fund, and is it cash flow? And I just would like to hear more about that.
Yeah, so we've been playing around with a couple of different models. There are some very smart people who are smarter than me who are helping me work through that. One idea would be that we did a debt fund and that we issued debt for fix and flips, or even so like we became like a hard money lender, right? I don't know if that lights me up, but again, I think we have to explore that. Part of it is, how do we help you get funding without taking equity in your deal? But we might have to take equity in your deal to get you funding. So then is it a buy and hold strategy where, and maybe it's different buy and holds, right? Maybe your buy and hold could be a long-term, a short-term, a mid-term. Maybe your buy and hold could be a pad split. Maybe it could be assisted living or group. Part of it is that we have to figure out what the numbers are. Ideally, what we're trying to do is find something that has enough meat on the bone that we would be able to pay back our investors. But you need to make money and we need to make money. So we want to do something like, if you're used to paying your private money lenders 12% on an annualized basis, right? Then in order for us to stay at those levels, we can't just, like, for purposes of this conversation, let's say we raise $1 million, we can't just deploy that $1 million once that year and make 12%, right? We would have to deploy that money 2 to 3 times so that all of the projects balance out. Because maybe we get 12% from your project, but then maybe the other project comes out it's undertime or it's overtime. So we're figuring that out. And those are a lot of the calls that I have coming up in the next couple of weeks. Typically, what happens in a real estate fund is you buy properties, you hold them, and then you sell them in a few years, or you refinance them in a few years, right? That's like, if you think about multifamily fund, that's what's happening with all these multifamily projects. They invested in them 4 or 5 years ago, and they said, yeah, we're gonna sell them in 2024 and 2025, refinance them. Well, now they can't refinance them because they're so we have to look at what variables can we mitigate with risk and where do we have to take risk. And ideally what it will be is that it would be a mix of things. And so part of it that I need to understand from you all is, what kind of projects are you doing and what kind of projects do you need capital for?
Yeah, I absolutely understand with regard to the group, and I love the energy. And I'm kind of a weirdo too, because I think I'm at the top of where I can go much further and learn a ton more, but I'm doing land development and building. And so I also work for a private money lender. And there seems to be a very large acorn on the build model and getting dirt for dirt cheap. And so anyhow, I would love to, with 20 years of underwriting, sit with you on these kinds of things. And we have 4 different funds that we have different things that we do. So I'm just so happy to be here and learn from all the women, because the energy here is great. It's different. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Because if you can't tell, underwriting, not so much my skill. And in fact, not only is it not my skill, I would slit my wrist if I have to do it. So you can put me in a room full of executives and I can close them into the deal. But yeah, so all of those things are still figured out. So I would love to talk to you more about that offline. Yeah. Thanks. Megan. Is Megan leaving Iowa? That is the question of the week that I have been wondering about.
So, that might be like my winter home. When I told you South Carolina, I was thinking, okay, I can have Iowa as my summer home, and then South Carolina was my winter home, because I do feel like Iowa, I have friends here that I'm working with and stuff, they really miss me. But anyways, I do agree with Carolyn Armstrong. Like, I disagree with the whole, we aren't here to date each other. Like, you know what Pace says? You are dating everybody. You want to get to know everybody. It's kind of like a dating game. So that's what you want to do. And you know what? Like, yeah, Canada might be way up there. You might not have anybody up there, but I would definitely be down to go visit. I do have, a visa, but not visa, passport. So I'd be like, Canada's been on my list to go visit someday, and hey, there's a reason to, and everybody else that's in this group, maybe, somebody like, hey, I have a room I can offer to the heck in my 6-bedroom house. I have several rooms I can offer. If anybody wants to come to Fort Dodge, Iowa, I'll offer it free room and board. If anybody wants to come to Dirty Dodge,
That's amazing.
You really sell us with that nickname.
See what Dirty Dodge is all about. But yeah, I'd be down to go visit anybody, so.
Yeah, I love it, Megan. Well, here's the other thing I want to say to you, Megan, in case you all don't know Megan in our group, get to know her. She cracks me up. I love her outlook on life. She is an absolute go-getter. She does not take no for an answer. She does things that other people, I think, would say they're too good to do. And Megan's just like, I'm going to get it done. If it helps me make money, if it helps me move my business forward, I'm going to do that. So Megan, that's one of the things I just want to honor in you and know that I admire that in you so much. I know that you have been knocked down a couple of times recently by some of your neighbors and some of the stuff. But I know this about you, you don't stay down. So if we got to put together a plan to help you get back up, like, let's freaking do it. But
well, I I've decided now, like, because I was looking into group housing and all that, and I'm like, I'll get back at them and do like inmates, they have their transitional program. I'm like, I
Yeah.
know what to do. They won't let me have roommates. Okay, fine, let's do this. Anyways, but I'm finding out even the city is like, well, and I'm like, really? You know what? And then I was talking to the heck I have her in the messenger, but she might be in this group. But anyway, she told me, do you listen to Abraham Gray? And I'm like, yeah, I didn't really listen to him, but he's in some too, and he teaches, I guess, about he buys houses on liens or with liens. Bitch, there's people that do that. I'm like, cool. So I guess maybe I can go to him, maybe, or at least watch some of his videos and ask him, okay, here's the situation I'm in with my lien. That okay, let's subtune my house out. Let's do that, So I'm gonna do that next. I'm gonna subtune my house out. So, but
There's ways. Yeah, there's ways around this. One of my girlfriends put on Facebook the other day. She's one of the top realtors in Houston. She has a team of 12 people on it. She's like crushing it down in Houston. And she said, I hate when I have a problem, but I figured out a solution. And if every problem has a solution, then is it really even a problem? And I just thought that was so poignant. Like, if we really believe that everything has a solution, then is it even really a problem? No, it's just, how do we find the solution? Who's the solution, right?
You create the solution. That's what I'm doing in my fight against contractor. I have learned so much. Today I discovered a new thing that re-excited me because it's like the weekend you can't really do anything, and so I wrote it on a post-it note. I found out from the Secretary of State I could file a formal complaint against this business with the city attorney general. I'm like, ooh, so I'm reinvigorated. I went and did a good workout. I powered through that. I'm like, I'm excited now. Now I'm gonna take this guy down even more. I'm just like, yeah, it's my Moby Dick right now, this guy. But I'm going to probably create laws, even though they're out of session right now until November. But I'm going to call it WebCur, whatever, the WebCur law. I'm going to have something happen, like, for people like this. I'm fighting for people like this. But, also, another idea, for more women to become investors. When we're asking other people who are in situations with selling their house, they can't figure out how to sell their house, other women, let's make them, property owners. Let's tell them, hey, you can subsidize this out and buy another house. Let's make them investors instead of buying their houses from them. Like, hey, like so my friends, I'm lucky to have supportive friends. All my female friends, I've convinced them to buy houses. They're still my friends, like years ago. Like, I haven't moved up to new friends. I mean, I've added new friends, but they stick around because I've motivated them to buy their own homes. Yeah. So I still have the same.
You're bringing them with you.
Yeah. So yeah.
I love that idea, Megan. Let's put that on hold for now because we're also at 7:15 and I know people are dropping off. But that is a very fascinating idea, is how do we help women subto their houses so that they can remain investors? That's freaking fascinating. I don't know anybody who's talking about that. So again, how can we talk about things that other people, maybe there are other people, but okay, well, keep me posted, lady. I'm cheering you on. Sarah. Oh, Sarah, you just left your hand down. So maybe you don't want to talk.
Well, I do. Do I have time?
Yeah.
I'll say, oh, sorry. Excuse me. Well, I had to drop off for like a little bit. I started the call earlier, but I realized I had to run and make an errand and I came back. But I'm happy to be in this Zoom group. I'm outside Seattle and went to a meetup with Irene and met her, and Crystal is on the call, and I went with Sabrina Stewart, who's in this community. And I just wanted to introduce myself and say, I'm not going to stop coming to these Zoom meetups because I loved the in-person meetup and all of this. Oh, Avita, I see Avita. And I guess I have so much more to say, but I just want to say at the beginning, when you were introducing yourself, something that really stuck out to me as a woman and your experience as a woman is that you were never given these limiting beliefs that I feel like I have like remodeled, to use like a rehabbing a house metaphor.
Yeah.
Like having to like full gut and tear down these belief systems about myself as a woman in this space, that I feel like it's so enlivening to that you do have this energy that you're sharing in this community. So I guess I want to say that. And then so
Thank
much
you.
more about holistic real estate and getting back to land connection and nature connection through housing development. I'm in Western Washington, so there's like a lot of interesting work, and the whole missing
Yeah.
middle housing crisis is alive and well here. So
Yeah, for
just
sure.
happy to be here, and thanks.
Yeah. Thank you,
Excellent.
Sarah. Welcome. I'm so glad that you met all those amazing women, Irene and Crystal, and they're all badasses. Sabrina, so awesome. You got really lucky getting to meet those amazing women. I will tell you this. I absolutely have limiting beliefs. I don't want one single woman on this call to be like, Caytie got it all together. No, I don't. Let me tell you what I was writing about this morning in my journal. I'm not even kidding. You know what my biggest limiting belief is? Oh, that I'm not allowed to make money as an entrepreneur. That is one of my biggest limiting. I could make as many six figures when I was working for somebody else, but there is a block for me that I cannot go past a certain level in entrepreneurship. And I don't know what it is, and it pisses me off, and it grosses me out. And I am working on it like literally every single day. And I share that with you. One, that also was kind of gross to just share that out loud. But two, like we all have our things. We all have. I can stand up in front of 1,000 people and not have a prepared speech and be fine. But when it's talking about like, well, do I like, because I grew up thinking, you have to work really hard to earn money, and rich people aren't always great people, and all of that crap, right? I had blue collar parents. So don't think that I don't have my own things. I absolutely do. Hopefully, maybe you have something that's different than I do, because I think one of the cool things is how do we borrow each other's, right? One of the ways that I also have really started to get over things, my own limiting beliefs. One is I tear them down. I like look at them. I have mantras, all the things. But two is if you look at some of the most successful people, they have alter egos, right? Everybody knows Beyonce has Sasha Fierce. She's like, I don't get up on that stage. Sasha Fierce gets up on that stage, right? So I try, and I have created a model of who mine is, right? Like Sarah Blakely is one of my sheroes. I met her, I like fawned all over her. I'm like, oh my God, I love you so much, Spanx, blah, 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 blah. But like I try and remember and take someone else's what they're good at and model it after myself. So if that can help, let me know. But we're all working through our stuff.
Totally. I relate to that.
Yeah.
It's true. Thank you.
Okay, we are over time. However, does anyone have anything that they want to celebrate? For those of you who are new to our call, one of the ways that we end is we celebrate our wins. And why do we do that? Because when we celebrate our successes, it goes into our brain and it says, look for more successes, look for more wins. I was reading a lot more about celebrating our successes, and it actually increases our serotonin and dopamine, and it lowers our cortisol. And I don't know about y'all, if any of y'all have like that weight right here, cortisol belly. I do. I gain all my weight right there from cortisol and from stress, because I hold on to stress for so long. So this is another reason why you have to celebrate, because it reduces your cortisol. So does anyone have anything that we can celebrate? It doesn't have to be huge. It can be something small. It could be showing up here. It could be, I don't know, it could be anything. It doesn't even have to be related to real estate.
I have something.
Oh, okay.
Go.
Catherine, and then Kirsten, I'll let you go.
Okay, so I don't know how many people in this group are part of Gator. So when I joined Sub2, I also joined Gator like at the same time. And I didn't even realize that they could really be two separate things. And so Gator kind of got on the back burner while I focused on Sub2. And I'm finally circling back to doing the Gator training. Like I started it before, but now I'm like, it's actually been revamped since I joined last year. And it's really good. I'm really enjoying it. I'm really getting a lot of inspiration from it. And I was also like, so that's kind of one half of the win is just really enjoying this training and getting like hope for certain things in my future based on this business model, which was actually part of why I moved to Puerto Rico, was to do private money lending and knowing the techniques and credit lines and things in Gator really, I think could make that be a viable option for me once again.
Awesome, lady.
Yeah. And then I was also remembering just this funny thing that I did, which is kind of like, you know, Gator is about like building your own business lines of credit, which I did start like months ago. So I've been working on that. And I was like, when would I ever use this? And I remembered I actually did a deal like this. This was more than 10 years ago. I got a business line of credit from a local bank. I cross-collateralized a bunch of properties, but it wasn't really like, it was kind of like a HELOC, but it was a business line. And I had to pay about 5.5% on that business line. Now, at the time, the going rates for mortgages were lower than that. So that was kind of painful, but I had a, you know, fix and flip friend, as I have many fix and flip friend who borrowed the money from me at 12%. She actually had it in play for a year because her flip just kind of got stuck. But every month I would make the payment for 5.5% to the bank, and then she would pay me 12%.
Yeah.
And it was great, right? So I was like, I didn't have to do anything. I need more deals like that. So yeah, so if anyone
There's a lot of ways that you can do that for sure.
Yeah, if anyone wants to do some Gator wrestling with me, if anyone else is in that space and wants to invite me in, I would love to partner with someone here on something going forward. So I'm almost
awesome, lady. Yeah. Well, kudos for taking that step for sure.
Thank you.
Yeah. Kirsten.
Okay, so it's not signed, sealed, and delivered, and it's maybe small, but I've been working on it for 3 years. So I wanted to start a construction company. And I used to have a
That's
pest.
not small. That's small.
Well, I used to have a pest control company in California. Like I started it because the guy offended me. And so I bought a company and then I sold one 7 years later. The same company, like I hired guys to run it. But anyway, so I thought, oh, I'm going to do it again with a construction company. So by the grace of God, 2 weeks ago, I was at one of my properties and I was taking down signs because I'm like, you know what, maybe I don't want to sell this particular property. Maybe I want to do something with it. Somebody shows up and he says, can you do seller financing for me? I'm a construction guy and I'm moving out my company. And so anyway, last night he told me, I will give you part of my construction company. Like for sure, we've just got to work out the details. So that's huge in my little town. I live in a resort town and we have houses going up all the time. And the biggest problem is that there's not enough good construction guys. So guys, I guess it could be women too, but I'm not going to swing a hammer. I would not do very good.
Lady, that is amazing. Kudos. Keep us posted because maybe it's not a signed and sealed, but you're taking the steps, right? And I also love the fact that a pest guy pissed you off and you're like, I'm just going to go buy his competition. That is the most amazing thing. I'm like, damn, why haven't I thought about that kind of stuff? Because people piss me off all the time. That is so cool. We have a lot of people in here who've bought businesses and are in the business buying. So I know you said you've done it, but if you need any help, let us know, drop it in there. My husband also has sold multiple businesses. So if he can help you with any of that, just let us know. And way to go, just taking the step. Anyone else have anything? I know a couple of people said in the chat for me being here, showing up. That was your win. I love that. I love that. Carolyn, what do you have, lady?
It is kind of small, but
listen, No. We are gonna stop qualifying. Okay. No more qualifying. That is what we're gonna be working on that. No. Go ahead. Start over.
So something I've really been working on for a long time is finally happening tomorrow.
Yeah, tell us.
I really want to work on a team doing multifamily, and the MUDs. I've been sort of talking to KJ, and then talking to Jada, and then they're like, talk to Joseph. So they're like, so tomorrow I'm going to talk to Joseph officially, and I'm going to get started. So
that's awesome, lady. They're so great. I think Jada is one of the most amazing people. I like love her like a little sister. I just want the best for her. So great. Keep us posted on that. I think finding your team, even just having those conversations, that is a huge deal. It is, it can be hard. You can think that you found somebody and then maybe something changes, or maybe, for a variety of reasons, right? So that's awesome. Keep having those conversations.
Well, that's it too. Like it's a fluid thing, and it's let's see if this is a match, to see if it works. But still, I'm really excited even just to get into that and to go through that and see where it goes. So
yeah, awesome. Well, keep us posted. Thanks. Anyone else have anything? All right. I just want to celebrate the fact that I think my sinus infection is going away, and that feels amazing. So yay to health. It's crazy. I know people have heard this. When you don't have your health, it's like the only thing you want, right? When when your health is fine and other things are going bad, you're like, oh, but when you don't feel healthy, when you don't feel great, you're like, oh, I give everything up just to feel better. So that is my win today. Sarah, were you going to say something? I thought you came off mute.
Oh my gosh, you know. Yeah, right before you
I
said,
noticed
okay.
everything.
Oh my God. I mentioned like my interest in bridging land stewardship and real estate, and I'm hosting a class. That's what I ran and did. I was like, oh my God, I gotta go print those flyers for a class this Sunday. And like that connection is so alive. I mean, the community that I'm in Duval, Washington, and how to bring that forward in the real estate space. It's happening. So
hold that flyer up again so we can see it.
Yeah, is that live?
Is
it virtual?
It's in person in Duval where I live.
Okay.
And we're going to be planting gardens. I call it home scouts because home economics is my gift. Is I'm a teacher, but like you said earlier, my vehicle is real estate. And so I meet people by going to I have booths at farmers markets as an herbalist. I've been doing that before real estate. So I'm trying to bring all the conversation together, and I'm like, I've been working on it for years, like you all said, and it's happening. And I just, want to celebrate.
That is amazing, lady. If you want to drop the info inside Trailblazers to get anybody who might be up near you to go, definitely do that. Yeah, I think there's definitely some people in here that would love to hear more about it and see how they can do it. And again, I don't know about y'all, but like, I'm a girl from Dallas, Texas. Like, I don't have any friends doing what you're doing, Sarah. I don't have any friends that are like, I care about the land connection. I think that is so cool. And the reason I say that is I think sometimes, and this is the space in my life that I'm in right now, is that I grew up in one town. I lived there my whole life because it's a big city. Nobody ever said leave, right? And so I have a very homogenous group of friends. I love them. They're amazing humans. I would do anything for them. But real estate has opened my eyes up to so many people that I'm like, oh my gosh, I had no idea I would be friends with a woman like this, or a dude like this, or another woman like this. And like, now I can say like, I know somebody who's doing that. I'm like, that's so freaking cool.
That's cool. I just have to say, part of what I think brings me forward in Western Washington is I grew up outside of Kansas City, Missouri, in rural, like farm town. So like that spirit and like the way I connected with land coming forward in the real estate space here, like those threads are all swirling with this conversation because it's shared, like the cultural divides that we're all experiencing. Like this is the shared conversation that brings common ground. So I'm really excited to see what happens with it.
See, like, okay, I just have to say this. When I talk about let's have a conference, I want to have somebody like you. I want you and somebody else speaking about this. I want a panel about this, and I want us to talk about this. I want a panel about why are we investing in homes where kids who aged out of foster care could live, or
build their own homes out of industrial hemp so we can
like
grow
there's so many things, right? Like, again, what are the spaces that no one's talking about this? Like, I've looked at the investor speakers. It's going to be a phenomenal conference. Sally Krawcheck is speaking. I'm like so excited to see her, but no one's talking about what you're talking about. Like, there are things that we want to learn about and talk about that is not being shared in other places. So, like, how do we bring that into this space? Because there are other women who care about that the way you will, who will hear that and be like, yes, I get that. Yes. So
it's the women. Y'all will listen. I feel like that's great. So thank you. Yeah, I'll add the Pacific Northwest Intentional Communities Association. If anyone's in the Pacific Northwest, I'll add that to the Facebook group too.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we
I'll
do
try
have
to do more virtual. Okay.
Okay.
You.
It is 7:30 my time, which means it's 8:30 or 6:30 or 5:30 your time. This has been an incredible 90 minutes. I am so grateful for you showing up, for your feedback that you've either given tonight or feedback that you're going to give us. We're going to send out a survey. I'm going to put it in the Trailblazers group, but I'm also going to email it. Again, I just want you to remember that you are a badass, that there is something inside of you that was placed there for a reason. And if your reason is to go and make an impact, I just want you to know that you can do that. Even if you're nervous, even if you're scared, even if you have limiting beliefs, even if you have the city of Fort Dodge, Iowa fighting you saying that you can't, right? There is a problem, or excuse me, there is a solution to every problem. So if we can figure out the solution, if we can figure out the who or the how, right, then we can solve these problems. So I thank you so much for your time tonight. Go be a badass this week. We'll see you inside the Facebook group, and we'll see you next Monday night at the same time. Bye, ladies.
Thank you.